Hi, welcome to part 6 of the Unity Engine third-person shooter tutorial, and in this part I'm gonna focus on weapon reload. As you know, in most of the games, most of the developers are gonna just use a reload animation, and they're gonna do the animation using that. But I'm not gonna use any animations for this. I'm not I'm not gonna even open the animator because I'm not gonna use any animation, and I'm gonna totally do the reload system based on Unity IK system. So first of all, I need a couple of methods in the tools. I need to detect when a transform reaches a certain position or not. The same thing for the rotation also. So let's start creating these methods first. So we're finished in this script. We created three methods for local position and position, also one for a rotation. So I'm gonna save this. The next thing we do, we need to make some adjustment in our player animation script. We need to optimize it a little bit, so add a few more methods to it to make our reload process easier. So I'll start by defining some variables here. So I've defined also three variables because our aiming needs a few little adjustment. I'm gonna make that happen now. I'm also rename this aim helper speed to aim correct speed. I think this is a better name for it. So let's jump to update. Also needs to do some adjustment here. So here we go. Oh, I also need to add a condition here. This is important because if we don't do this, we won't get a cool result. So that's it. Let me check this out a little bit quick. Okay, this is good enough. If you didn't get the cool result, if the weapon start jumping, you could tweak these guys a little bit, these three variables. These values are fine though. So let's create a couple more functions here. As you know, when we move the hands of the player, and for example we move the hand to weapon handle, and for that we need to add a listener. So whenever the hand reaches a certain location, we need to know about that. So for that, before I start, I'm lerping them position and rotation like this. I don't like this. I need to change this, so let's do that first. So this function is just simply checks if the position as rotation of our right hand has been reached the target. If it's not, it's gonna lerp to that target. Otherwise, it's just gonna call this method on right hand reached. I'm just gonna copy and paste all of this because the left hand is exactly the same thing. I'm gonna paste it right here. On right, I'm gonna change all the rights to the left. Okay, and this is the right hand, which will be the left hand. So we use this so we could reload easily to detect when the hand reaches the certain points that we wanted. Also, left hand on left hand reached. I guess this is it. Yeah. So these two functions are gonna being called every frame whenever our hand icon is in the position, in the target position we want it to be. So let's go here. Yep. And right here I'm just gonna say right here I need to change these because this is not the way I wanted them, so let's change them. So we also need to tweak the on animator IK. These guys are being set to this, but we need to change them to right hand weight. The same thing here. So basically the weight of the ICA is not being set here anymore. It depends on the weapon position and reload stage, what stage of the reload we're in. So I'm gonna go into that later. So let's just first set these guys. So I think we're done with the adjustments. Let's get into the reload stuff. So basically most of the reload things is gonna happen in the player weapon, in the player weapon script. So right here, just besides this fire, I'm just also gonna create a method called reload. Okay, this reload guy is gonna get an integer, and this integer is gonna be insert count. So what is insert count? Insert count is the amount of magazines or bullets the player is gonna attach to the weapon. So in reload, as you know, the first thing the player does is gonna detach the magazine of the weapon. Okay, it drops it, then it's gonna go grab another magazine and attach it to the weapon. That's the basic thing. But in some weapons, and that it's happening only once, the player only attaches one magazine to the weapon. But sometimes, for example, for shotguns, you don't do one magazine, you bring bullets. For example, 7 bullets, you get the 7 times, you bring the hand to your wallet or whatever, you grab the bullet, you bring it to the weapon, insert it into it, and you go grab another one and another one. And this insert count is the time of the is the number of times the hand should reach and grab the ammo and attach it to the weapon. This is most of the times is 1 for one magazine, but for shotguns it's the number of bullets you're gonna insert to your shotgun. So that's that. Let's check the player locomotion, how to call this reload. So to call this reload, first let's check the player input. Did we set up anything for reload, jump, crouch? Nope, we didn't do that. So let's do this. I'm just gonna copy and paste this guy, and let's name this reload, and also get button down. Yeah, this is gonna do it. Reload. Okay, let's just save this and see if we have anything for it in our input. Firefighter, nope, we don't have a reload. Just duplicate this guy. And most of the games, R key is the key for reload. So that's that. Okay, now let's go to player locomotion. Okay, right here for our fire condition. Yep, we also want to add another condition, and when we are not reloading, player weapon dot reloading, the boolean we just created, whenever we're not reloading, you're allowed to fire. So that's that. Let's also create something for our reload function. I'm gonna say if player input dot reload button gets pressed and we are not reloading. Where is it? Here it is. We're not reloading. Then just go ahead and call the reload function in our player weapon. For now, I'm just gonna use one for one magazine, but we need to change this later. It would be chose. This one would be chose based on how many, based on the type of weapon. So that's it. We're done in the player locomotion. Let's just close the extra stuff. These scripts we don't need. It's getting crazy here. Okay, these three scripts, the only things we need: weapon, player animation, and player weapon for now. So let's go to the weapon and start defining the variables we need. So let's create the transforms we need to get from the weapon. The first one is gonna be the weapon mag. So yep, it's a transform. We also need to get the slider, the bolt of the weapon, which we're gonna be using in both shooting and reloading. I'm also gonna get a prefab, a game object. It's gonna be our mag prefab. This prefab, we use it to instantiate our mag. For example, when you change your weapon mag, you drop the old one, the empty one, on the ground. You know, we use this to do that. We're just gonna drop it on the ground. It's gonna look cool. So what else we need? We need a few more also poses. I think we need 4 more poses. 4 pose we need. Let's start with standing normal, standing aimed, standing reload is gonna be 1. So when we're gonna reload, the first, our weapon is gonna go to reload pose. Then we're gonna drop the magazine, and then we're gonna attach a new magazine to the weapon. Then we're gonna need another pose, the pull slider pose. And for that, I'm gonna create a pose called standing slider. So after we attach the magazine, the weapon goes to slider pose, and we're gonna pull the slider if it has a slider. For example, some weapons might not have it. We're gonna handle that later. Let's do crouched reload and crouched. What was it? Slider, I guess. Yeah, equals to 7. Equals to 6 and 5, I guess. We need to change the number. This number really doesn't matter. You don't have to write them. Yeah, it's not important. Okay, we also need a few private variables, I guess. Yep, we need those. So let's create them. Let's create vector 3. Yeah, this vector 3 is gonna save the base slider position. When on the awake function, we're gonna save the current position of our slider so we won't lose it, and when we're moving the slider we could return it to its original position. So that's the slider base position. We also need when we're pulling out a slider, we need to define an integer for it to see what stage of the pulling slider we're in. So I'm just gonna say pull stage. And we also need a player weapon, a reference to the player weapon. This player weapon, we're just gonna use it to do a return callback. Whenever we're done pulling the slider, we're gonna tell the player weapon, okay, we're done, you can move on to the next stage of your reload. So let's see what else we need to do. Yep, of course we need to define the poses here as well. So this is gonna be standing reload, and this is gonna be a standing slider, I guess. Yep. We need another one here for the crouch. I'm using Control C and Control V to copy and paste reload and slider, of course. So that's it. So here we created a properties class. We also need another class called reload, of course. So let's write it down. Okay, so here we go. In our update function of our weapon, we created the slider functions. Oh, this is gonna be check local position, and don't forget these signs here, and of course here I forgot this. Yeah. So what this thing is, the first we're gonna get the basic position of our slider to keep it there. Then we're gonna come here in our update function. We check if we don't have a slider, then we're gonna just gonna return, because there is no pulling slider without a slider. So we have 3 stages for pulling. 0 is the stage when we actually nothing is happening, you know. And the second and the first stage, stage 1, is the stage when we're pulling the slider back. So in stage 1, whenever we want to pull the slider, we change the pull stage to 1. Whenever it changes to 1, the position is gonna be, we're gonna calculate the position, slider position plus the slide amount. If the slider has reached its target, then we're gonna go to stage 2. Otherwise, if it's not reached its target, we're gonna start lerping it towards there. And whenever it's reached stage 2, then we're gonna come here and check if we're gonna bring the slider back to its original position. Whenever it's reached its original position, we're just gonna set it to 0, and that's it. Also, in our player weapon, whenever the slider reached its original position, then we check if we have a player weapon assigned, and if it is, let's come to our player weapon. Let's create a method here. Let's just do it right here. Let's go with public void on a slider pulled. This function is going to get called whenever the pulling slider steps are finished, all the stages completed, and we're just going to call that to let the player weapon know that the pulling slider stage has been completed and it can move on to the next levels. So that's for our weapon script. And now let's create a pull slider function right here in our weapon script. It's gonna be public, of course, so we could be calling it from other script as well. And it's gonna be and it's gonna get a player weapon. The reason I'm gonna do it like this, let's name it controller, because sometimes we might want to change our weapon. So whenever you change the weapon, you need to kind of reassign the player weapon here. So pull stage is gonna be 0. It's gonna be 1, as I said. After that, the player weapon is gonna be also assigned to controller, and that's it. That's our pull slider. By simply calling this, our slider is gonna get pulled. So one more thing I want to add is, here we created our pose and we need to also return them properly. Let's create 2 extra cases here and 2 right here. As I said before, I'm using Control C and Control V. It's gonna be a standing reload. a standing reload, and a standing slider, and this is gonna be crouch reload and crouch slider. Assigning these poses, it's really it's a little bit hard and complicated, but it's definitely worth the effort. It's definitely worth the hard work. It's because it's gonna give us really cool effects. The default, it's gonna return. Let's bring these two above the default. Let's do something in our fire method here. So let's do it right here. Whenever we fire our weapon, we check if we have a slider. We also need to do a boolean here. Let's do it right here. Public bool. Let's say a slider jump on fire or on shoot. Let's say its default is true. So also come here, and if we have a slider and the slider jump on shoot is true, we want to turn this to false for our shotguns. This boolean, we should turn that to false. And let's say a slider is gonna change position after we shoot, and the local position of our slider is gonna be our base position plus our reload dot slide amount, the amount of slide we're gonna do. Let's see the effect. So first we need to assign the slider actually. Let's say this is it, I guess. Yep. Oh, this is gonna be our slider, and this is a muzzle, this is the magazine. Let's assign these two for now. Slider is gonna be this guy, and the muzzle is gonna be the magazine is gonna be that guy. We need to assign mag prefab, and we also need to assign these guys. So for the hand icon, let's do this also. For the hand icons, I've created separate game objects, separate transforms, but actually we don't have to do this. We could just create one, call it shared icon, shared hand icon, or whatever. And use this for all of them, standing normal. Right hand IK, left hand IK. Let's do standing aimed, right hand IK, left hand IK. The same thing also. So this is gonna be the same game objects, only the only time we're gonna use different transforms whenever we want to hold our weapon in a special way, but all the positions, all the current positions we have for this weapon, the hand, the position of hand is not going to change. It's the same thing, so we don't have to make a lot of transform for it, we could just use one for all of them. Let's assign this guy as well, and the last one. Yep, we could just go ahead and apply this and open the prefab. I know, because we can't delete them without opening the prefab. I'm just gonna use control, hold down the control and click on these guys and hit delete button. I've deleted them. We didn't need them anymore. We just have the shared IK for the hands, and all of them we're gonna use that. But for the position, we have to create new transforms. So a standing reload. I'm not gonna use the two uppercase words for it anymore because it's kind of confusing. I'm just gonna write it down. Standing reload, the pose of the elbow, and the animation is also gonna be 1 and 1. So yeah, let's do another one. Standing, was it, what was it? It was slider. Yeah, let's assign it. I'm just gonna duplicate these guys by holding down Control and D. This is gonna be crouched reload, crouched slide. As I said, it's a little bit tricky here, but it's definitely worth the effort because of the good result we're gonna get, and the customization and the access it gives us on our game. It's really a perfect system in my opinion. I've developed this, think about this really hard, and this is one of the best ways I came up with. So yep, I assigned everything. Oh, I forgot to assign the animations. If it's a 0, it's not gonna look good. 1 1. Okay, I'm gonna just apply this. We're gonna adjust these for later. Right now I just wanted to show you the slider jump effect. So let me zoom it here a little bit. Yeah, I'm aiming right now. Notice when I shoot, the slider is gonna jump. You know, it gives this a realistic effect, and it's look cool, of course. So let's do the main stuff now. The things we did until now were just minor tools and adjustments. Let's go to scripts and the player weapon. This is the magic happens. This is where the magic happens. We already created some listeners, and let's start by defining the variables we need. Yep, I'm gonna do it right over here, I guess. Yeah, this is good. The player camera, we're not using this, I think. Let's just remove it. So let's start. This is the reload stage, and I wrote this down for you guys so you could understand what's happening in the reload stages, in different stages. We have everything. Nope, we need a reference to our animator, of course. Let's say private animator, and we also need a few variables to debug, to get a proper position for our different transforms, which we're gonna do very soon. And these debug variables are only for adjustment purposes. You know, it's not gonna affect the game. We're just using them as helpers, and they're necessary. They're really necessary if we want to get the awesome effects for our reloading. So I'll start here by defining the variables we need. So we're done here. The variables is done. We pretty much defined everything we need here. I'm gonna go through them as we proceed. For now, let's go to the player animation and use the variables we just defined. I'm gonna start by handle IK transform method. So here we go. We have an if function for our right hand IK. Let's actually create regions to make our code more organized. I'm gonna just go ahead and say right hand here, and I'm gonna end the region here. Yep, this is gonna be better now. And I'm also gonna create a region here for elbows. Yep, let's close the region. So the elbows don't need any adjustments. I'm just gonna collapse them. This is gonna be left hand. Let's close it here. Yeah, left hand for now we're not gonna do. Let's do the right hand first. Okay. So we have a condition here, but before we do this condition, we need to add a few more conditions. So this is gonna be actually this is gonna be else if, you know, these conditions need to be checked first. Then if they're false, it's gonna come and do this one. So let's start. So we're done with the right hand. It got a little bit long, I know, and I think I should have used the switch statement. Maybe I'll optimize it later, but for now, I'll just copy everything up until down until right here. Yep, I'm gonna copy this and do the same thing for the left hand. right here. I'm just gonna paste it, and this last one is gonna be an else if. Okay, these rights are gonna be left, all of them. I'm just gonna use Control C and Control V to do this, to copy and paste this. These guys are good. The conditions don't need to change, only these, the move right hand IK, move left hand IK. Yeah, I'm gonna Control C, copy this and paste it for these guys, this, and this one. What else we need to change? The right hand weight, we're gonna do left hand weight. I'm also copy this for everything. This one, this one, this one, this one here, 2 more to go, and that's it. And also this, the last thing we need to change is this guy, left hand IK. I'm using Control V to paste it. So that's it. What else? Am I missing something? I don't think so. Yeah, we're good here. So that's the left hand as well. Let's just collapse these guys. So let's come down here, move right hand icon. It's gonna call the on right hand reached whenever the IK reaches this. Okay, we've already created these 2 functions. Let's add one more here. I'm gonna call this, what should I call it? Let's say check what? Check hand. Reload reached. It's not a good name, but well, whatever. Let's do the on right hand reached first. We say if whenever this function is being called, the first thing we need to check, see if we're reloading or not. If we're reloading, then we need to know whenever the hand reaches a certain position. We also need to know if we defined the right hand for the grabbing magazine and grabbing slider. I made it possible to actually choose the hand that you want to use to change the magazine. You know, I wanted to give you some more options. So if it's this, then we're just gonna check this guy, and I'm gonna copy and paste this for the left hand as well, and this is gonna be left. So this function is gonna check a few things, and based on them it's gonna call different functions. Let's see, in our player weapon we already have on slider pulled listener. Let's create another one. I'm just gonna call it on reload a stage. Yeah, whenever a stage is completed, this guy is gonna be called. So in our animator, player animation script, yeah, here we're gonna call this whenever our hand reaches a magazine, whenever our hand reaches the slider, or whatever we're in reload mode and our hand reaches a target, we're just gonna call this function. We say, okay, your hand reached the magazine, do the next thing. Okay, your hand reached the slider, pull the slider, and this is gonna get called. So let's start. Okay, we're finished with this guy. Let's see, player weapon reload. Yeah, whenever our hand reaches the grab point when a stage is won, we need also instantiate a magazine inside the player's hand. For that, I need to go to player weapon. Did we already create it? Nope, no, we didn't. Yeah, so I'm just gonna create a function for it. Public void grab grab the magazine. So here we're gonna say grab the magazine. So let's do this grab magazine first before I forget it. So we're finished with this guy. It's just gonna instantiate a magazine in your character's hand, the left hand or the right hand, depending on which one you decide. On a slider pulled, we also need to check if it's reloading. Whenever the slider has been pulled, if we're in the reload mode, we're just gonna set the reload to false. This is the end of our reloading, the final stage. What else we need to do? Let's see. Well, yeah, we need to do something in our update method with the weapon position, bring the weapon to reload position and a slider position. So we're gonna do a condition here. I'm just gonna say if we're reloading and an else. So let's cut all of these guys and paste it on the else. Also this guy. Bring it here. So that's it for now. Let's go to the reload then. There's another bunch of other conditions we need to check. So I'm just gonna start. Okay, so we're almost done. Let's see. Mag insert count. Yeah, let's see. Mag insert count. And let's just copy and paste everything. Okay. Bring it to the reload and paste it. Of course, we need to get rid of these guys. Yeah. Okay, so also reload insert count equals to insert count. So this is our reload. Okay, so let's go to player animation. Okay, everything seems good. Okay, what is this? Reload helper. I created this. I forgot to initialize it. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy this guy. Reload helper. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Okay, I think we're done. Yeah, let's test this, see what's what. The first thing, I'm coming here and see this stuff. Okay, why I'm not seeing the reload here under properties? Let's go check. Okay, reload needs to be serialized. Serializable. I think we can see it right now. Let it compile. Yeah. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff here. It's really confusing, I know, but the results are gonna be awesome. Trust me. So we need 4 transforms here. Let's actually use comments. This is the 4 transforms. I'm gonna use comments to show you where you should create these transforms and assign them. So the first 2, we're gonna put them under the weapon root transform. I'm just writing them down here so you don't forget. Maybe later you want to create another weapon and you just get confused and forgot what to do. The second one, you're gonna put it under weapon magazine, and this one you're gonna put it under slider. Okay, these 4 transforms. Let's do the first one. This is the weapon, this is the root. This is gonna be mag grab point. I'm gonna duplicate this mag hold point. I'm just assigning these guys grab point and hold point here. The insert point is gonna go under magazine. This is our model, this is our magazine. So this is the magazine, here it is. This is gonna be insert point. So mag insert point. Let me assign this as well. And of course the other one is gonna go under slider. and this is gonna be mag a slider point. Easily you create these 4 transforms and you assign them. Now we need to tweak them to get the result we want. Let me apply this first. Okay, I think we're good. So let's start with playing the game and doing the adjustments. So let's start by assigning the poses. So these debugs are gonna bring the player to reload different reload poses. The first one is gonna bring the player to a pose that you're gonna drop your magazine. So I'm gonna just go to the weapon, and in the poses, I know this is a standing reload. This is a standing reload. The pose is currently in because we take the debug, and we're gonna adjust the weapon the way we want. In this pose, the player is dropping it in the weapon magazine. So let's see. I think this is good. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into it a lot. Don't put a lot of time into this, but you could make a really beautiful result using this. I think this is good. Let's rotate it a little bit. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna use this one. Copy this. Don't forget to copy it. A standing reload we were editing, and this is the pose. I'm gonna just paste the values. Let's do the same thing for crouch reload. They're the same basically, but if you want to get into the details and change it for different poses on standing and crouch, you could do that. So let's play this again. So the next time I go to this, it's gonna go to the pose we saved. The second one is the same pose. These two actually are the same pose. So but the third one is the pulling slider pose. It's when you pull your weapon a slider after you attached your magazine. So for that, I'm gonna go under crouch. No, we're standing slider, and the pose is gonna be the way we want it. We're gonna tweak it. I think this should be fine. Yeah, this is good. I'm going to copy this and paste the values, the standing slider, and the same thing goes for crouch slider. Of course, you could, as I said, you could do it for both crouch and standing. You know, once we did it, you did it standing, then you go crouch, you do it for the crouch too. It's all depend on you. You could also do the elbows for different poses. As I said, it gives you a lot of customization possibilities, and you have full access and control. Right now that's just good enough for me because I'm just doing the tutorial. Later I might do more tweaking and get better results. So let's also test the reload, see Okay, the reload button is not working for some reason. Let's go to player input. Oh, let's say reload, and that's it. Okay, and now we are gonna do one more thing, and that's gonna be okay, creating our magazine prefab. I'm just gonna copy this from our model and paste it in our scene, and here it is. This guy, come here. You could just disable the bullets if you don't want them, or you could just make a script or something. When you're dropping the magazine, hide them, and when we're attaching the magazine, show them. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not in the mood for that. Let's just do a box collider. And okay, and a rigid body, of course. The video is getting too long, and I'm not gonna do the hide the bullet thing. Maybe later. Okay, let's create magazines, a folder in the prefabs. Okay, let's make this a prefab. Actually, let's rename it to the name of the weapon, because we're gonna have a lot of different weapons and their magazines have different prefabs. Okay, I'm gonna assign this guy here. So let's test, see if the result first. I'm gonna hit R key. Okay, what's wrong with this guy? Reload the stage is 0. Why? It shouldn't be 0. Okay, let's go to okay, this function is empty. Okay, I'm gonna write this now. Okay, so we're done with this method. Let's see the results. What's happening now? I'm hitting the R key. Okay, this is weird. Why the hand IK is stuck to the weapon? That shouldn't be like that. Whatever it is player animation. Where is it on animator IK? Here it is. Okay, the weight is being assigned. Oh, okay. We need to change this to R hand IK dot position. Rotation. And the same thing for the left hand, of course. Okay, now we should get the result that we want. Let me play this. Okay, everything is happening too fast. let's go to the player weapon. Apparently slider return speed is good, but the pull speed a little bit is slow. I'm just gonna go with 3 for now. Okay, so let's assign it other stuff one by one. We assigned the poses before, 2 poses, 1 reload pose and a slider pose. Now let's assign the grab point. Notice when I checked this, the left hand kind of went into his own body. So we need to fix this. For fixing that, we need to find the weapon. This is the weapon root. Mag grab point is the transform that we're looking for. This is the transform that indicates the point the hand is gonna go to grab the mag from that point. I'm just gonna go to his side, bring the hand to its side. Let's say the magazine is gonna get from here. Yeah, that's good. It's just gonna get the magazine from here. Let's say there's a bag or something, a gear or an attachment, whatever. I'm gonna copy this and let's paste it to this fella here, and let's play this. Okay, let's do the debug for more. Okay, now we're good. The second debug is mag insert debug. The left hand now is gonna go to a position which you're gonna attach the magazine to the weapon. Here it is, the weapon, where is it? Here it is. And this is the mag hold point. The mag insert point, it's under the magazine, I guess. Here it is. So let's change this. You could put a lot of time into this and really make awesome results, really beautiful results. Let's just do something simple. I'm not just gonna go through that, this is fine. I'm gonna copy this and where is it? Here it is, under magazine, paste values. Let's do one more thing, and here it is. And the third debug is the slider grab debug. Is the point that you're gonna grab the slider. If your weapon doesn't have a slider, just forget about that. But our weapon here, it does have a slider, so where is it? It's under slider here, mag slider point. So this is our slider, this little fella here. I think this is gonna be, yeah, I'm not gonna do it with 2 fingers. Let's just do it in the weird way. Yeah, let's just say this is the way this guy pulls the slider. It's kind of in the weapon, who cares? Let's paste the values for this as well. Okay, what else we have? Yeah, I think we're done. Let me apply this and see the results. So the results is kind of weird. Okay, let's do the last thing. After we did this, we fixed the hand on the magazine in the insert debug. Remember, do this first. After you were satisfied with this, then go under the player hand. Depending on the right hand or the left hand you're using, you can just find the hand under spine, I guess, chest. I'm using the left hand for my magazine, so it should be under the left hand. Under that hand you find this guy, mag hold point transform values source. Just copy this guy and paste the values in. Where is your weapon? Here it is, in our mag hold point. Okay, as simple as that. Now let's see the result now. I'm hitting R key, okay. It works fine, but the pre-insert offset, I guess, is showing some problems. Yeah, I need to fix that. Okay, so let's check this out. Where is it? It's in the player weapon. Okay, in the left hand, I guess. Yep, it's being assigned. Okay, what is that? Okay, this should be left. No wonder why we're not getting the results we want. Sometimes one small mistake can ruin everything. Okay, let's play. Okay, it's awesome. I mean, it's perfect. Let me increase the polo slider speed. It's still too slow. Let's go with 6. Yeah, it's better. I mean, come on. Where did you see a animation as good as this? A reload awesome as this? Look at this. Let me zoom it a little bit. The offset needs a little bit tweaking, of course. I guess we could do a little bit here as well. Let's also check the crouched. Yep, we're getting good results. Of course, there are some minor bugs I need to fix, but as you see, it's really giving us a really awesome result, and the video got too long. Maybe I'll do more stuff in the next videos. So please, if you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel to support me and get notified when the new videos get released. Thanks for watching.